Hi there, it's Jane here. I thought it would be great to check in with you. I've not spoken to you for a while, and it seemed like now was a really good time as summer draws slowly to a close, unfortunately. It's a new term for many people, it's back to work, and it just seemed like a good time to check in with you to see how you're doing with your photography. Are you participating in the theme for September, which is summer 2021? And also to take a look back at the theme that we did in August, which was the theme of pink. So if we look first at the theme that we had, I think it's a great idea to pick a colour for a photography project because I think if you're feeling a little bit demotivated or you're stuck for ideas, picking a colour is a fairly simple challenge. And it can take you across a really wide range of genres. It can be anything. I mean, flowers become the obvious one, but it can go across portraiture, landscapes, wildlife. We've seen pictures of dogs with their pink tongue, etc. And having a project that you've got, sort of got in mind all the time, like pink, helps you to exercise your creative eye. I like to kind of compare it a bit with when you're trying to keep fit and you're exercising muscles. If you don't use particular muscles, you lose the fitness of them. And it's exactly the same with exercising your creative eye. The more you use it, the more you look for great images, the better you will get at seeing good shots. You're constantly on the lookout for images that will work with that colour. And I know that people do often say that when I launch a theme for the month, they're just on the lookout for it all the time. So if I say, right, this month it's circles, people go around all day looking for images that could be circular. So I certainly think that's probably been the case in August, spotting things that are pink. I've got my nails done pink, but that's a pure coincidence. And in terms of what I was looking for when I went through your images and picked some out, which we're going to look at shortly, I was looking for images where the pink was very much the main focus or the focal point, or played a critical role in the image. The pink couldn't just be randomly there, and there had to be a really good reason why it was there, and it was obvious that that was what you wanted to draw people's attention to. Then I was also looking for how other colours in the image would work with the pink of your subject. Would they complement the pink? Would they let it dominate? Would they not clash with it or fight, so that the pink subject is made more obvious by the use of the other colours in the image, or at least that pink is really coordinated and the image therefore looks aesthetically pleasing and harmonious. And of course, a big thing that I talk about a lot now, I'm looking for the images to connect with me, the viewer, to cause an emotion, a reaction, surprise, laughter, love, wow, some kind of reaction rather than just, oh, that's a picture of a flower. Okay, and as we go through the images that I've chosen, we will discuss that, and I'll try and draw out how much that image connected with me. And of course, the images should be technically strong as well. The light should be good. The image should be well exposed, sympathetically for the message, the emotion that people want it to, make people feel. It should be in focus where it should be in focus, and the image should be good resolution. And I did spot there were quite a lot of images posted this month that looked low resolution. And that's a real shame, because it could be a really good image, but it's let down by the fact that the low resolution makes it look less sharp, and you lose some of the detail. So don't be frightened to post images to the Facebook group that are, up to 5 megabytes in size. I mean, it all comes down to pixels really, but and some of you will get that, and you know that your images need to be perhaps at least 1,000 pixels along the longest edge. But if you don't really know how to look at the size of your photograph, then at least look at the overall file size where it says it's 237 kilobytes or it says it's a megabyte or whatever. And I think you can, post something that's around 1 megabyte, you're going to get the detail. And you can even post ones that are up to 5 megabytes, and Facebook will still take them now. The other thing to do if you're posting from your phone is to make sure in your settings on your, I think probably in Facebook, I think it's in Facebook, you want to go into the settings for Facebook in the app and make sure that it is loading HD. So if you're not sure about that, just Google, how do I make sure that my images are being loaded up to Facebook in high definition? And that can be something that's perhaps making your images look low res when they're not. Okay, so as we look through the images that I've selected, I hope that you'll get a good feel for what makes these work. And sometimes I might talk about slight things that could have been differently to improve them. But overall, I've chosen a number of images that really caught my attention, and I will pick an ultimate favourite as well. Okay, so I'm now just going to share the screen with the selection of images. So hopefully you are now looking at an image painted on a wall, very much Banksy sort of style. I can't remember now because it's quite a long time ago that these were posted and I read the descriptions next to them. But anyway, this one is by Chris Key, and I really like it. It grabbed my attention in terms of the kind of the visual impact of it, I guess. It then makes you laugh because it's funny in terms of the message that Chris has photographed. I mean, obviously that's not of his doing, if you like, that's the artist, and what we are looking at here is a picture of something that another artist, not the photographer, has created. But what I do like about it, what I do like about it is the fact that Chris has spotted how all the colours and textures work on this, as I'm sure the artist did as well. The colours, the texture of this wall is fantastic, and the way that Chris has then brought in enough of the pebbles and the shoreline to know where we are, and that those colours coordinate so nicely with the texture of the wall. So basically, it's an aesthetically pleasing image that connects with you and makes you smile. And it's got the use of pink. The pink is the dominant colour within the shot, and it's well composed, it's technically well shot. So that's the reason I pulled this one out, Chris. Then we've got this shot by Darren Lloyd, and it's the colours in this, I think, is one of the main things that really is pleasing and draws your attention and makes you like the image and find it kind of fairly wow. I also think it's the fact that the flower is imperfect. It's overblown, isn't it? We've got some decay, and we've got a decaying blossom underneath. We've got beautiful textures both on the flower itself and on the leaves. These leaves are just such a magnificent colour. I would guess that Darren has given this some treatment in the editing, which is absolutely fine, all part of the creative process. And if so, Darren, you've done a beautiful job with it, quite dark and moody, which sets off the pink of the flower. Again, it's technically extremely well shot. It's sharp. It's got beautiful detail, and it's all exactly so sympathetically exposed for the subject. It is also quite well composed. I mean, one of the big rules we're taught when we first start out in photography, excuse me, is don't put your subject in the centre. Now, obviously, that's a rule that can be broken, and when it works particularly well is when you've got some symmetry, which you have got here. You know, straight through this flower here, you've then got these two leaves that are symmetrical to each other. The flower itself is quite symmetrical, and you know, you then don't have to adhere to the rule of symmetry too strictly in what's going on in the background. But you know, your eye goes straight to the flower. There's nothing to distract you, and everything else in that shot needs to be there and works perfectly to complement the flower. So I think that's a really, really strong shot. Then we have this shot by Debbie French, which again I really like. Not as strong as some others in the pink theme. We've really got the strong band of pink at the top of the flip-flop, and we could arguably say we've got some warm pink tones in the sky. But what I do like about this one is the story. Basically, you know very clearly straight away that you are at the beach. You've probably had a great day at the beach. You've had fun, because this is quirky, isn't it? That immediately says fun, then the story behind is fun as well. We've got people playing in the surf, and we've got a lovely sunset behind. So it's not just the subject, the actual scene behind is very pleasing as well. So this one is, I'm sure it's a phone shot, quickly taken, but a quick kind of one of those creative moments where you go, yeah, that's going to make a good shot. So a couple of things, Debbie, just to make that a bit stronger if you ever do this sort of shot again. Watch that your horizon is straight. Often hard to do when you're taking the shot, especially when you're working fast. But you can correct this with editing in Snapseed, any other apps or whatever that you use. Very, very easy to get your horizon straight as you edit. And this, I can't even figure out what this is, actually, this little black thing there, but that weakens the shot. It's just a bit distracting. Don't really know what it is. Perhaps you can tell me. I've looked at it for a few times now, trying to work out what that is. But lovely lights, lovely story, humorous, simple, but strong shot. Then we've got this picture by Ginny Dex, which is adorable, isn't it? And definitely very pink. You know, beautifully shot, looks like a professional portrait. So if you shot this, Ginny, which I'm assuming you did, congratulations. It's lovely. It's very sympathetically shot. Oops, my watch is telling me to wake up. I am awake. Yeah, it's very sympathetically shot in terms of the feel of it. It's soft. Baby skin is soft, isn't it? It's a little bit dreamy, and you know that we've got the soft dreaminess of the dress and everything as well. You know, so technically it's very good. The only thing I felt was that the child, yes, she's very, very cute, and it's a really cute shot, but I felt that perhaps she was looking a little bit not uncomfortable, but a little tiny bit shy, which can be endearing in itself. But I felt that for me, in terms of having to judge this against other shots, it made slightly less of a connection with me. I get partly, you don't necessarily need eye contact, but I think just if her face had been lifted a little bit more and her eyes were looking somewhere, or you could determine the exact emotion that she was feeling, I think that would have made it stronger for me. Now, I don't want to take away from this shot, Ginny. It's beautiful, and I know you said it was one of your favourites, and I can quite see that if that was a picture of my daughter, I would absolutely adore it. But looking at it objectively, when I don't know this lovely little girl, the emotional connection for me as a stranger isn't quite as strong. Okay, so I hope you don't mind me saying that, and I hope I've said it in a sympathetic way. Okay. Then we've got this shot by Katherine Hall. We had a lot of flowers, of course, with pink being the theme. Beautiful pink flowers out there. So the reason I picked this one out of all of the others is that it's technically so strong. Quite a lot of the other shots that were posted were suffering from the low resolution issue, or was sometimes just a little bit too cluttered, and you were distracted by other things in the frame. That definitely isn't the case in this one. I love the clean background to it. Katherine has included just exactly what she needed to include with this. The flowers doing all of the strong stuff. The background is very knocked back, soft focus, so it's not distracting at all, and just acts as a perfect background, basically, to set the flower off. It's very well exposed. Love this, you know, you can see the light catching on these petals here, but it's not overexposed. You can see the detail, and it's just a lovely strong portrait of a flower. Sorry about that. I've got to say, this must be me when I wiggle the mouse. I always try and blame it on the software, but that's definitely me. Okay, so lovely shot, Katherine Hall. Very good. Thank you very much. Then we've got this shot of a dog by Mick Howe, and very much, as I said before, we're drawn straight away to the pink, which is what we wanted to see. All the others, so when I was talking about colour, all the other colours in this shot are very muted. They don't interfere with this pink at all, so that is where your eye goes to immediately, over and above to the eyes, which is interesting because in a lot of portraits where eyes are open, the eyes are the thing that we go and look at first. So lovely, sharp, technically very good picture of this dog, and you know, nice muted background that's not really interfering. I think the only thing I felt it lacked a little bit, Mick, is perhaps any kind of story. There's an emotion there, but it's not overly strong. I kind of thought, oh, that's a nice shot, and the pink works, but I didn't kind of go, oh, wow, or laugh, or love, or, you know, whatever. So I think, you know, that's what I would say about that shot, but a nice one to include. Thanks, Mick. Then we've got this one by Stuart Brown, and I'm going to address the thing that is wrong, if you like, with it, could have been done better, and that's the overexposure here on this petal. So we've got a very, very bright sunlight coming in, shining on the back of this rose, and unfortunately that is a kind of it's too big an area that's overexposed for you to ignore it. So therefore, it's kind of weakening what would otherwise be an extremely strong shot. And that's why I've included it to talk about, Stuart. So when faced with that in future, you could try and diffuse that light. Bit of a pain, you know, try and put something that might kind of make it a little bit softer. That is obviously a lot of the time not very convenient. So what you could also do is underexpose the rest of the image. So if you're using a camera, you're shooting in manual, you'll know how to do that, purposely underexpose the whole shot. If you're shooting in aperture priority, then you're going to use your exposure compensation setting to underexpose until this is looks okay. Okay, it's really borderline. You just go until it's not overexposed, but it's not really dark. That will make the rest of your shot, particularly the darker areas here, be really underexposed, but then you address that in the editing. So when you come to edit, you would look for more detail in your highlights by sliding the highlighter tool, probably to the left, to bring in as much detail as possible. And then your shadows tool, you would look to be brightening all the shadow areas, either globally or locally, if you're using any kind of app that allows you just to paint on, you know, particular areas. But what I did really like about this image is the reflection on this, I guess, metal surface. I thought that was really aesthetically pleasing. Lovely old texture reflecting this. And I'm guessing that's what you saw as well, Stuart. You could probably mute down this bright area here and even crop it just across the top there. Get rid of the green and blues that don't really need to play a role in there. Crop it here and maybe just slightly darken down these lighter highlights in editing. But again, I've included it because I think there was a lot of potential there. I know why you saw that shot and why you liked it. So I hope that's been helpful, Stuart. Okay, and then back to my favourite, because that's all the images I've chosen this month. My favourite image has got to be the one by Darren. I think I said everything that was so good about this when I talked about it, and it's the colours and the textures and the technical high technical abilities that you've shown there, Darren, as well. So well done. Thank you everybody who submitted images, and I hope you found that critique useful. But I'm just going to say a few words now about the challenge for September, which is summer 2021. Right then, so what I'm going to do now is share the screen again, this time to the Love Your Lens Facebook group. Okay, so that's hopefully what you're seeing now. And I'm just going to click on this post here, which was the one where I launched the theme on the 1st of September. So we have a theme for September, summer 2021, and I posted a few pointers here. You can post images from any time during summer 2021. So it doesn't have to be taken in September. That's a bit unusual. We normally say the images got to be ideally taken during the month of the challenge. But what I'd like you to be able to do is look back through any of your images from this summer, so really from kind of late May, and also bearing in mind that summer, it's still summer now, and that we've, summer solstice is the 21st of September, so you can still be taking new images during September. And then posting any images from summer this year until the end of the month, when again I'll look through my favourites. So, but what I want you to do, if possible, is be a little bit discerning. So we've all got great pictures from our holidays. I've not even been through mine yet, and I know there's going to be a lot of them. But really try to pick out the ones that really made you proud. That's the feeling. That's when you've taken a good shot, is that you can't wait to look at it, and inside of yourself that you've just taken a cracking image. That's the ones I want to see. I don't want to see lots and lots of pictures of blue sky, sea, etc. We've all got lots of lovely pictures like that, and it's very tempting. We've come home, we're full of our holidays, and we want to share them with everybody, and that's great. But for this challenge, it's not about that. It's about posting a shot that for you really, really sums up summer 2021. And that could be quite personal, couldn't it? Your summer 2021 might have been all about something that wasn't about the beach and the sunshine and flowers. And things like that, and blue skies. It might have been something completely different. So tell us a little bit of a story if you want to, in the description that goes with it, or perhaps the image will be very, very clear. The story will be clear from the image. So, and again, all the usual things that well composed, technically strong, doesn't matter whether it's a phone or a camera image. And what I'm going to do now is just pick a few out that have already really resonated with me. So, there's loads of shots here that are lovely shots from people's holidays. But if they're a landscape, they're going to have to work really hard to grab my attention, because I really want to feel like it is an absolute wowzer that you're really, really pleased with. So I will look at them all in more detail. This one was one that caught my attention. There's a couple of things I'd say about it, about you know, this subject here, you've lost him a little bit, and you've also lost the guy that's flying the kite. But as in terms of what I'm looking for as a story, and feeling like this really sums up summer, I think that's quite a good one. This one's very well composed, and a kind of you know, an interesting sky. And then we've got these, quite liked this one, a little bit more of a story, similar to the flip-flop theme in a way, but you know, you're getting some kind of a bit of a story there as well. And obviously it's been well shot, technically good. This one from Anne, really like this one. You know, it's not as clever as some that we see, but it's got that story, it's got that joy of something that you do in summer. Okay, it's got that emotional link a little bit more. Okay, so Alan, technically great landscapes, and I go, oh yes, that's lovely, but it's not for me summer 2021. It's not got that hook that says this is what summer 2021 was for Alan, whereas the picture of his wedding, even though it's shot by somebody else, is what summer 2021 was all about for Alan, because he got married. Okay, lovely chip. Again, I'm not sure if that's got the absolute hook that I'm looking for summer 2021. Okay, although Alan, we know that your dogs play such a massive role in your life, but keep looking, keep shooting for me, Alan, because I know you get what I mean. Charlotte Moss, a very interesting shot, that one, but not for the theme. And I'm only skimming past because, you know, these are all technically very good pictures, and I'll have a look through, but I'm not sure again that they've got that hook that I'm looking for. These are clever, quite like this, and also emphasizes the fact that you can have a series of images to tell a story. I quite like the story here. I would possibly have taken out this one here, but don't be frightened of including a small number of images to tell your story. Debbie French has done that here. And I think, you know, I think this is a really lovely shot. Slight quality issues maybe, but the light and what you're trying to do and how it makes you feel makes that a really lovely shot. Okay, obviously all these things are subjective. We all have different things that we like. Congratulations, Alan, on your wedding. Lovely to hear that. Don't forget the rule of 5, everybody. There's a few cases where people have posted quite a lot of images, and that rule is there to make you be more discerning and to pick out those strongest shots. Okay, there will always be shots in here that, you know, if you went back and looked at them, you could take out, okay, to get it down to 5. Same here, Gemma, you're newish to the group, I think. So rule of 5, you know, no more than 5 from any one post or occasion, and it makes you pick out your absolute favourites. So which would be your absolute favourites from the Isle of Wight? Can't believe this is the Isle of Wight. Actually, it does look stunning. It does look like it could be abroad. I like this one. Little bit clever, isn't it? With the composition, the shadow, the people watching. Like that one, Jane. You know, a little bit more unusual. I think the light's really nice in this one, Catherine. We've talked about that, and walking does play a huge part in your life. Technically very good, that shot. Watching wildlife, watching is the theme of your summer. Well, that's good. For me at the moment, the very first image posted, but this one absolutely sums it up for me. And again, you know, maybe I've got my biases. I like dogs and things, but there's a story here. This dog, you know, looking out at the sunset, wanting to get onto that beach. and beautiful lights, nice composition. She definitely thought about that shot, what to include, where she wanted the dog to be looking, what she wanted the shot to be saying. So I really like that shot, Pam. I would take another look at it, just get your horizon straight, because that's the only thing that is making that slightly weaker. But yeah, really good. Got us off to a cracking start with that shot, Pam. So I hope that's helped. If anybody's got any questions and they don't quite get what I mean, then please let me know. But I think the thing that make it personal, make it really personal, that this is you, this is your summer. And what's the other thing I was going to say? Try and pick the ones that really you were, wow, I've just nailed it in that shot, because we are allowed to think that, and we do think that, but we probably don't admit it very often. So good luck. I've rambled on for quite a long time, but I hope it's all been helpful, and I look forward to talking to you again shortly. Take care.